What's up? It's Alexander Cardinale. You're watching Kink live in the Bing Lounge.
Xander, welcome back to the Rose City.
What's up?
What's up, man? Hey, you were, like you mentioned, you were in this room not that long ago, a couple years ago?
Like a year and a half to 2 years ago?
Yeah, I think so. I was, in preparation for the interview, I was watching that interview. It makes my job easy. But Mississippi Studios tonight.
Yeah.
And then you're going to go down to Eugene. You're not an Ohio State fan, I hope.
No, not necessarily.
Okay,
no.
okay, that's good.
I claim no allegiance to college football.
Do you care at all?
Not really. No, I'm an NFL.
You're in Oregon. You better care right
More
now,
of an
man.
NFL fan. I appreciate the Ducks.
Yes. Good answers, right.
I actually have to because my brother, who's here with me today, is a big college football fan. So he's always talking my ear off about it and putting it on in the hotel and stuff. I'm like, all right, cool, I'll watch it, but don't. Okay.
That's okay if you don't. That's okay, man. We're here to talk music, play some music. And so I want to go back. So you're from the Monterey Peninsula area.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, your dad was a guitar player.
Yeah.
And then your mom was a DJ on the radio?
She was a disc jockey and manager at the classical radio station in the area. So it was like Carmel, Monterey, Pacific Grove, and Pebble Beach. That whole area was the local classical station.
Oh, so it was classical.
Yeah. She wasn't like a disc jockey on like rock radio or something cool. She was like,
spinning Scorpions.
Yeah, no, she was spinning Mozart and Brahms and all the. But I grew up in the station, like listening to music, and I think that had a lot to do with why I wanted to play violin first as a kid, rather than like guitar, or piano, or something.
And that was really young, I think.
Yeah, no, I was like 2 or 3 when I asked her if I could take up that. So I started on they have a method called the Suzuki method that is like for kids. Or it's not for kids, but it's beneficial for children. So they start you in like a little cardboard box with like a string and like a pencil. I don't know. They start you on something where and you upgrade as you learn. You get like the little, I still have the little guitar. It's like, the little violin is like this big. And I have it on my mantle, my first violin.
Yeah?
But yeah, I went from that into, rock music at about 12 years old when I succumbed to the pressure of being a preteen and I could no longer play violin. No, I went to guitar at like 12 or 13.
And were you like most young punk kids on the come up? Were you in a punk band, rock band?
Absolutely. No, more grunge actually, because I was coming up in the 90s was like my music. Like that's what I grew up with as a kid.
Yeah.
So I'm like a product of 90s grunge music. So I was all about flannels and, the world was over when Kurt died, and it was like that was my jam, man. Pearl Jam and Stone Temple Pilots. I don't know how I became the artist I became out of that, but somehow I transitioned into a different kind of music.
You were just finishing up 2014 on a pretty nice tour, touring out there with Melissa Etheridge.
Yeah.
That's kind of a big deal. She's kind of a big deal.
She's kind of a legend, and that was pretty much the reason I was like excited to do it. Like,
how did that come
I learned
about?
a lot from her, just watching her every night and like talking to her at dinner and picking her brain about how she started as an opening act, because she did it on her own too. She like made her own bones, like opening for people and doing it alone, riding in a van, like all the same stuff I'm doing that most artists have to do. So she related to me about that, and that was really cool.
Did you know her before, or did
No.
she just pick you up and say, hey?
She actually, I don't even think she picked me up. I think she picked me, but it was through her people, like at her publishing company or her management company finding me. How these things happen. Like, take a general meeting in this industry once in a while. You never know what's going to lead. So I met with her people a couple years ago, and it didn't really go anywhere. It was just a general meeting. But then they remembered me for this years later. Hey, what about that guy we met with Xander? I think he'd be good for her. And then, she okayed it, and that was it.
She okayed it. Yes, let him on tour.
Well, I think she's presented with every possibility on earth, and so and then she picks which one she thinks she likes. So
that's cool.
It was definitely an honor.
You got some quality time with her, though. It sounds like, because sometimes you hear about these things and you assume that the opening act are best friends with the headliner, and they don't talk at all.
It's true.
Yeah, it's
absolutely true. A lot of times that especially on bigger tours with bigger artists, there's no camaraderie. But with her, I think she does everything herself now, and she's like on her own label, running her own show. So she really had a hand in picking me and bringing me on the tour in that way, like I said. And then while I was on the tour, I think she felt like we weren't best friends or anything. I wasn't on the bus. I was still driving in my own van behind the bus. But that's what she would relate to me about. Like, this is what you got to do. This is what we all did. And, you're not getting on the bus until, it's like that. It's like you got to earn your bones,
Get back in your own van, son.
Yeah. I'll eat dinner next to you, but after that, you got to get out.
All right, I'm gonna shut up and I'll get out of your way. All right, sounds good.
All right.
Alexander Cardinale, everybody.